So this is the rock that I smacked my side on this morning. You can see I'm not the first person that did it because the ground's moved here from when I hit it this morning, but it's also moved here from when somebody else hit it. And if you look at it from perspective wise, they've already got border rocks there and over there. So why the hell do they put one way out in the middle of the road like this? That doesn't make any sense at all. And here's the line from my tire where it came around. I fucked up good today. Parked at the fucking hot spring. They put these big fucking boulders in the middle of the fucking road. Just tall enough that you can't see them when you're driving by. So I cracked one with the side of my motorhome. Fucked this up. Fucked all of this up. Fucked all of this up. And of course, fucked all of this up. And because the wood is old under here, it's fucked the wood up. And the wood is falling apart. Basically, I just fucked it up. So I don't have a classic anymore. Now I have a piece of shit. Story of my life. Why don't I should just jump in the Kern River. Fuck it all. Okay, so here's all the different damages I've noticed. It's separating this front piece where it all comes together. It's also separating it here. It's all bent in and warped right here. It's all bent and warped right there. You can see where it's all bent and warped here. Even all the way back to here, it has separated the diamond plate on these two spots. But what I noticed earlier, it's even affected it all the way back here by the door. Because that crack wasn't there before, so it pushed all this in. And there's even more damage on the inside. You can see where it's separating right here. It really fucked it up. So we made it to Travertine. This is my first time here. Been wanting to come here for many years. Can you hear it fizzing out of the source? From what I understand, this tub is really hot. But I like them hot, so I might be able to deal with it. I'm not getting in right now. I gotta wait a little while. Yeah, that's hot, but I could probably soak in it. Definitely could after it cools off later. I don't know where the rest of this place is. This is my first time here, so you guys gotta bear with me here. Oh, I don't want to go too far leaving Kenya outside. I better stop this and let's just go up to the top here. Give you guys a quick look down at the valley. I should have brought my gimbal with me. I don't know why I even bought the thing. I never use it. That's not true. I do use it sometimes. Right now would be an ideal time to be using it, but I just barely got here. From up here, you should be able to see Bridgeport Reservoir off in the distance, the town of Bridgeport down there, and the Sierras a little further off. Had a heck of a rainstorm on the way up here. And it still looks a little dark off that direction. Okay, we're going to try to find the trail again. I just saw something. Rabbit, skunk, raccoon, something. Ran across here into the bush right before I turned this on. It is a rabbit. I just saw it again. Well, I'm not going to chase it. I really don't know where I'm going, so bear with me. And people might not like me taking videos here, but it's a public place. I really don't care what anybody thinks. Obviously, I'll try not to put anybody who's naked in my video. Or really, I'll try not to put anybody in the video, period. But I may not have that option. I don't know how this is laid out. We'll just see when we get here. I see. This looks familiar from the photographs and videos I've seen before. I think. Hell, I don't know. I may have to turn this off and record with my glasses so as to not be so conspicuous. There's a bunch of people. So I'm going to turn this off and we'll have to edit this together later. Well, there's too many people in there, and that water is just too cloudy for my liking. I understand it's a dirt bottom tub with a lot of this volcanic silt, so that's what's giving it a lot of that off color. But I'm going to wait till it gets a little cooler and try to get in the really hot tub that's next to my RV. I'd love to walk up top here and show you guys the cooling trough where the water comes out and it runs down these rocks before spilling into those pools that we just looked at. But somebody did that a while back and destroyed part of it. So I'm not going to go all the way up top. I'm just going to go right here. Huh. Well, that's actually not a trough anyway. I can see from up here there are a couple more springs out there. I think that's one right there. And there's your shot of the whole eastern Sierras. June Lake is back that way. Mammoth is further down. Yosemite's on the other side of those mountains. That's the town of Bridgeport and Bridgeport Reservoir off in the distance. I've been wanting to come here for many years. I'm glad I finally made the trip. Now I just got to find me a tub to soak in so I can technically check it off my list. One of the really cool things about hot springs is all the volcanic rocks and stuff around them. Because they're almost always in volcanic areas. That's what warms the water. A lot of times you find little caves like these. And a lot of times there are snakes or insects living in them too. Ow. Are you licking that kitty's tail? What are you doing to Sammy's tail? Do you like that, Sammy? Apparently not. So what am I gonna do? I don't fucking know. I've got insurance. I've got full coverage insurance. And I have comprehensive collision, which does cover this. But because it was a stationary rock, they consider it automatically that I'm at fault. I guess sort of I am. Although I'm pretty sure those 2 gouges in the road, I'm pretty sure the first gouge was caused by the people in front of me backing into the rock the night before, which pushed it in front of my motorhome, which is why when I thought I'd clear it, I didn't actually clear it because it wasn't in the same spot it was when I went to bed. And here's the other kicker. When I called the insurance company, they tell me, oh, we don't service that side of the state. So you're going to have to drive 200 miles into some podunk, bumfuck Egypt town and meet us so that we can process your claim. What do you mean you don't service this side of the state? I didn't say this to him. This is what I should have said, and I might when I call back. What do you mean you don't service this side of the state? Do you sell insurance to people on this side of the state? And they do, because they're a national company. If they sell insurance to people here, they should service people here. What if I was in such an accident that it was unable to move, and I couldn't drive 200 miles to the place they want to meet up? Would I just be shit out of luck? I'm going to leave some definite reviews on this insurance company before all of this is said and done, because that makes no sense to me. If I have a problem and you sell insurance in this part of the country, you should send an adjuster out here to where I am. The little town I'm going to doesn't even have much camping. I'm going to have to change the area they want to meet because there's a truck stop there where I can stay 1 or 2 nights. And they're telling me it's a 1-week wait to see an adjuster. I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do. All new motorhomes, as far as I'm concerned, are shit. Even a lot of the older ones are shit. This thing here, this wall, it's got carpet and it's got the vinyl. But then inside of that, it's got 3/4 inches of plywood, another 1/4 inch of this foam polymer stuff. I think polymer is the right word. And then on the outside, you've got the aluminum siding. Most motorhomes, you've got aluminum siding, very thin layer of fiberglass, and a thin layer of wood paneling. And that's it. You could literally punch your way through the window, or through the wall if you had to in an emergency. Not this thing. This thing's built like a tank. If it was built like most newer motorhomes, I probably would be incapacitated on the side of the road after this accident. Any newer motorhome would have literally been falling apart. This thing is so tough that even with hitting that big rock and doing all that damage, it's still holding together, sort of. So I sent the insurance guy pictures, and he says it's probably going to be totaled, which makes sense. Most RVs, any serious amount of damage does make it totaled, because they lose value so quick from when you buy them to the point when you have your accident, and then the repairs are so expensive, they just consider it totaled. But here's the catch with that. If they consider this totaled, I'll have a salvage title, and they will no longer give me full coverage insurance. I don't want to pay for liability. Liability is a scam to rob poor people. I don't care if people disagree with that. That's my belief. I believe that liability is a scam to rob poor people. If liability costs less, I might say, okay, sure, it's the necessary thing that people need to have so that people who are insured are covered in case a non-insured person or, somebody with just liability hits you. But they're charging more for liability than they do for full coverage on most motorhomes. And the reason they do so is because they know they can, because it's government mandated. So all these companies that are charging people for liability insurance are basically ripping them off and charging way more than it should be. So if I can't have full coverage on this, I have 2 choices. I can fix it as best I can and drive it with just liability and get ripped off, or I can buy another motorhome. Problem with that is, other motorhomes are all shit. I've had 20 different RVs and trailers since I was maybe 16. Aside from my Volkswagen van, this is the first one where people actually go, wow, man, that's awesome. Where'd you get that? What year is that? Oh my gosh, that's so cool, blah, 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 blah. I always get compliments on this. My last RV, closest thing I'd get to a compliment is I'd be down at the hot springs soaking with people, and I'd hear them talking about my RV, not realizing it was me, and they'd be cracking jokes. Oh, I wonder who's in the Breaking Bad motorhome over there. You know, the way your motorhome looks makes a big difference. If it just looks like an old piece of shit, they're going to think you're a piece of shit and a homeless person. If it looks like a classic, then people might realize, oh wow, this guy's a collector. He got himself a good old one. I really love this motorhome. So I may buy it back and put a non-op on it and save it somewhere, just in case I need to fall back onto it later, and then spend my money to buy some other newer piece of shit motorhome, which will burn up on me within a few months of owning it, or the motor will blow up, or a strong breeze will hit it and it will fall apart like the pile of matchsticks it is. I'm not kidding. Newer motorhomes are shit. I've thought about going with, not all of them, but 99% of them are shit. I've thought about going with a Class B camper van. Problem with, because they're built solid, but the problem with that is all the good ones are way out of my price range. All the ones that are in my price range need a lot of work, and I can do that work, but it might take me months to get it done. Or I can, oh, and Class B camper vans, you don't have screens on the front windows, so that's less ventilation. You got the big dual doors, which my animals can hop in and out of freely like it's no big deal. That's not good. I just don't know what I'm going to do, guys. I really don't know. And not being able to talk to this insurance guy is making it worse, because I can't even start to make plans until I know what's going to happen with all of this. If I do get another motorhome, it's going to take me months to get it ready. I'm going to have to buy linoleum and lay linoleum on the floor. I'm going to have to switch out or buy my vents in here, or buy new vents and put those in, because I got to have high power fan vents. I'm going to have to take off all my solar panel and wiring and charge controllers and battery bank and swap all that over to the new RV. I'm going to have to put in new pet-proof window screen on the new one. I'm going to have to lay new cool seal roof coolant sealer on the roof. It's going to take me months to get all of this done, which basically just ruins all of my plans for... this accident has ruined my plans for the fall. I wanted to go up into Washington and back down along Washington and Oregon coast fishing for salmon. Can't do that now because I got to deal with the insurance guy and get back to California and where cars aren't rusted out, and start looking for something else apparently. And then if and when I find something else, it's going to take me a few more months to get it all running properly and maintain, and make sure it's got all new belts and hoses and all that crap, because I won't drive something without all that stuff being right. I don't even want to talk about this anymore. I'm sorry. I don't know. I give up. I'm not going to e-beg. I'm not against e-begging. I might e-beg later. Who knows? I don't need the money. I've got insurance that's going to cover this. If I had $100,000, it wouldn't matter, because new RVs are shit. I could go to the dealer tomorrow, drop $100,000 on a brand new Class A diesel pusher, and within 6 months I'd have to spend another $50,000 on repairs, because they make everything so cheap. I just don't care anymore. I don't care about nothing. I don't want to do anything. I just want to lay here and nap, and if I don't wake up, I really won't care. Because at least if I was to die in my sleep, I don't have to worry about what the hell I'm going to do with my RV. This really sucks, and I'm really bummed out, and you don't want to hear me bitching about this, and I've gone on for 10 minutes already, in addition to the first part of the video. I've gone on with 10 minutes of just rambling and bitching and complaining. If anybody sees something out there that they think is a good deal, and you won't be offended if I don't think it's a good deal, let me know. Send me a link, a message. I'm looking. There might be other vehicles out there that are worth it, but I'm not going to count on it. I already know the way my luck's going, I'm going to end up with some piece of shit that's going to fail on me on my first trip.